Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I felt called to come on and do a reading today for you. So this won't be love related, and I'm using that Soul's Journey Oracle, which is about personal growth. And I know some of you have been mentioning that, yesterday I made a comment about how if you truly don't want this person back, why are you watching this reading? And a lot of you said, I'm watching it because I like listening to you and I like listening to uh, your advice about healing. So I thought I would come on and do a reading about healing. I also thought I would share with you something that I am going through right now. So if you want to just get to the cards, you can fast forward here. But healing isn't easy. It's very difficult, and we go through ups and downs on our healing journey. And as you know, recently I had surgery, and the doctor wanted me to rest for the first few weeks, so I have been resting. And one thing I didn't think was going to happen is that I would have wounds come to the surface that I was kind of avoiding healing. And it's not even that I was avoiding healing them. A lot of them I felt like I had healed, although I always say we're not perfectly healed. Old wounds can still resurface if they need more work done on them. And when I did that addiction video, I felt really called to do another reading about wounding. And it wasn't a reading, a video about wounding. And I made a post yesterday talking about this video that I'm going to post. And I just wanted to tell you something that I'm going through with it, so that maybe some of you are going through something similar. But I went through a really difficult experience, and I was really made to feel like I was imagining things, and I was made to feel like I should be silent about it. And it really, I know why it happened. It's because growing up, I didn't live in the healthiest of households. And growing up, I was told to be silent, and I would never, ever talk about anything. I learned it from my parents. We just didn't, if something traumatic happened, we just didn't talk about it. And I learned at a young age that it was not safe for me to speak up, or it wasn't safe for me when I had feelings to express them. So I grew up learning to be silent, and I went through an experience that I really believe I went through so that I could finally heal that wound. And I thought I had healed it, but it's really resurfaced while I've been in recovery. And even now I'm feeling like what keeps happening is I keep having a trauma response. So the video that I filmed is where I finally speak up about an experience I went through. And it's not to blame anyone, it's not to shame anyone. I wanted to share it so that for those of you who struggle to choose yourself, or who have gone through a similar experience where you have been made to feel like you're crazy or you're imagining things, I wanted to share it for you so that you would hopefully have the courage to choose yourself. And I had a really hard time filming it, and you'll see when I eventually post it, you'll see kind of a wounded version of me where I have a really difficult time communicating. You can kind of see me processing throughout the video. You can see me being very careful about the words that I'm using. I was very much brought back into that trauma, and I didn't know it, but it reopened some of the wounds that I thought I had been healing. And I've never in my life been so afraid to post one of my videos. And it may sound like, to some people, it may sound like, why don't you just post it? But to me, there's some sort of integration, some sort of integration of a lesson that I'm going through with this experience and this video. So my intuition, and I just want to explain it to you in case you go through similar things on your healing journey. So my intuition tells me, my higher self tells me, post the video. But then when I think about posting it, I have a trauma response. And I talk to you guys, this is why it's so confusing, right? Because I talk to you guys about how your body will tell you what you need to do. But it's like my intuition and my fear and my wounding are kind of clashing right now. So my intuition keeps saying, post that video, post that video. And then my trauma comes up and I start gaslighting myself, and I start like my whole body goes into that flight or fight or freeze or fawn trauma response. And again, it may sound simple to some people, but I just want to explain the intensity of what I'm going through because it is part of healing. So my intuition and my trauma or my ego are kind of at war with each other right now. Because like I said, my higher self wanted me to film that reading. Spirit wanted me to film that reading. Video. So you know what? There's a reason in my videos why I sometimes worry about using the wrong word, or it comes from that experience where I was made to question my communication and the words that I used. Again, it seems so simple. Just post the video. Just post the video. But then that unhealed version of myself starts gaslighting me and saying, you were imagining things. It really wants me to stay silent. That wounded place within me is telling me, be quiet. And I've been in deep reflection for this for like 2 days. I've been journaling about it. I've been crying about it. It's clear that it's that wound resurfacing, and I feel that it's important that I post that video so that I can integrate that lesson and I can stand up to that energy. Because right now my wounding is kind of telling me, if I post that video, I'm going to be punished, or my words will be picked apart, or it's exactly how I felt in that situation, that anything I said could be weaponized against me. And again, I don't want to let that wounded part of me win. I don't want to act from that wound. And I can explain the wound. I mean, I go over this in the video. It stems from a father wound, right? It stems from a father wound for me. But there's something in the gaslighting wound. And I can tell you, I know exactly what's being triggered. Over time, you learn to silence yourself, to second guess your instincts. And that's exactly what I'm going through. So again, I feel like it's important that I post the video, and I know some of you are wondering where it is because I talked about it. I'm working through this wound of fear of speaking up. And again, I can see the lesson in it so clearly, and I'm just trying to work through it because healing is hard. You know, I called my partner up to my room this morning because I was just, every time I think about posting it, I have this trauma response in my body where you have to stay silent. And I don't want to be operating from a wounded place. And I feel like it's very important. It's almost like it feels like a lesson. Like it feels very important that I post it. And once I post it, it will heal part of that wound because I'll no longer be in silence. And I also wanted to talk to you about how our body can communicate with us. So I am very spiritual, and I am not in any way saying that, you should ignore illness or think you can, I always say anything physical that you feel pain, you should always get checked out. But there's also, to me, there is a connection between what goes on in our body and what we're going through. And last night I was hanging out with my family, and my ego was like, my trauma was being really triggered thinking about posting this video because some of you were saying, I want to see the video. And all of a sudden, my right shoulder went into muscle spasms. It was very intense. I had pain all the way down my right arm. So when I went up to bed, I looked up what it means spiritually to have your right shoulder go into spasm. Hang on here. Stick with me. It's funny, my whole search history on my iPad is blah 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 spiritual meaning. That's all I do on this iPad. Right shoulder. Okay, let me just find it. And I should point out that this is something I thought I had healed from, but doing that video, it's like it reopened a wound and it showed me what I still needed to work on. So, a right shoulder muscle spasm, and a right shoulder muscle spasm spiritually can be a manifestation of unprocessed emotional, mental, or energetic burdens related to the masculine principles of action. Because, the left side is our feminine side, the right side is our masculine side. So right away I knew it had something to do with that. This isn't even the one, gosh darn it, this isn't even the one I looked up last night, but it says here, bracing for impact. So again, I have this feeling that when I post it, because I'm speaking about the experience, that I'm going to be punished, or I'm going to be gaslit, or I'm going to be unsafe, which is how I felt in that situation. It talks about suppressing masculine energy, so difficulty in expressing something, difficulty taking action towards something you want to express. It also talks about fear of communication, like fear of speaking your truth, especially when it's connected to masculine energy in your life. And anytime I went through this experience, it was always with a masculine, like a masculine energy. And it stems from my father wound. And I really believe that when I post it, it's going to heal something within me. But it's like, I just can't explain it. It's one of the scariest things I've ever done, is posting this video. And I know that it's meant to help me heal this wound that I clearly haven't finished healing. And thank you for letting me get that out, because I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to live in that place anymore. Like, I just see me as a child living in silence because of fear. And I'm hoping that by sharing this with you, that it gives me the courage to post it. Again, I've never been so afraid to post anything in my life, not even that addiction video, because my addiction wound, that one's more healed, apparently. And I just wanted to, this isn't about sympathy. It is about sharing my experience with a community that understands it. That's certainly part of it. Like right now, what I'm speaking about, I kind of feel like Spirit was telling me, go to your soul tribe. So, part of it is sharing what I'm going through, which is very confusing, with people who understand in my soul tribe. Part of it is to show how difficult the healing journey can be and how sometimes there are wounds we still need to work on. For some reason, I feel like it's a test. And again, my intuition is clear. My intuition wants me to post it. But that wounded part of me is struggling with it. And it's 111, okay? So it's 111 as I'm talking about this. And last night when I looked up the spiritual meaning of a muscle spasm in my right shoulder, which came on very suddenly when I was struggling with this, I screenshotted it. And this morning when I showed it to my partner, I noticed that I screenshot it at 11:11. Like, that's magical. Anyway, again, I'm sharing this because, for one, you're my people. And second, I am someone who believes that by sharing our experiences and how we learn from them and how we heal from them, we can help others. So maybe this is something you've been struggling with, or maybe this is something that will happen to you in the future. Warning, if you're going to be on bed rest, your emotional wounds will be triggered. I wish I had that warning. Like, I wish I had known. I mean, it's been interesting. And I've had people say, just don't post it. But then I feel like it's not that I'm letting the wounded version of me win. But if I don't post it, then I'm still living from that wounded place. The same way, if you're in that situation, if you stay in silence and don't put up boundaries and don't speak your truth, you're acting from a wounded place. That's what it feels like. If I don't post it, I'm acting from a wounded place. And again, to a muggle, this may sound like, what is she going on about? But it's like a huge thing for me. Like, it's clearly a lesson. It's meant to help me integrate something here. A lot of you say that I'm wise, but I just wanted to show you, not even I have it all figured out. Anyway, I appreciate you listening to that, because I really do appreciate you listening to that. And I will post it. It's been a very long time since a wounded part of me has blocked my intuition like that. Because I trust my intuition, but I don't trust that wounded part of myself. And that's why it feels like it feels very important that I post it. Anyway, I'm done now. Thank you for listening. I just really wanted to talk about it with people who understand or people who are maybe going through a similar thing. Like healing it is messy. There's a reason why not everybody heals in this lifetime, because it's messy. And clearly there was part of that wound that I was avoiding, right? I'm seeing the Seven of Swords. So there was part of that wound that I was avoiding looking at. And when you are made to question your reality for so long, you wonder if that wound is even real. All right. Even now, that wound is being triggered. Like, I'm hearing that wounded part of me, like, nobody wants to hear this. And I don't want to let that wound control me. It controlled me for long enough, damn it. It controlled me my entire life. And I think that's probably why I've been putting up boundaries with, people who tell me, they come to my readings and they tell me, you should really stop talking about that stuff, or you should silence those parts of yourself. I think that's why it's been triggering for me, and I've been learning how to put up boundaries with people like that, because we shouldn't have to silence ourselves. And to tell someone to silence themselves is unhealthy. And again, I just feel people who have been through emotional abuse, a lot of them stay silent. And I'm someone who believes by sharing our stories, we can help to heal others. And it's been something like I don't really talk about it in my readings. I talk about my childhood. I talk about wounds that I have. I've never spoken about this, what's in this video. Anyway, I really do appreciate you listening. So, again, I felt called to come on and do a reading about personal growth. Not about love, not about romantic love, but about personal growth, which helps us to love ourselves. And one of the reasons I was in that situation that I was in was because I didn't love myself. And again, maybe now people will see why sometimes I apologize, or sometimes I worry about using the wrong word. Like even now, I'm fighting the urge to apologize just for speaking. I haven't been, it's been a very long time since I've had a wound come to the surface like this, and just like, again, that trauma response of fight, flight, fawn, freeze. And I'm not going to let it silence me anymore. I'm really fighting the urge to apologize. So just now, thank you for listening to me. And thank you for giving me that moment of time. speak to. It was more than a moment, let's be honest. But thank you for allowing me to share my voice while I work through integrating this lesson. So thank you. You guys mean a lot to me. And sometimes it brings tears to my eyes when I think about how much you mean to me. So we are going to get some cards for you about personal growth, your soul's journey. This message is for you. This message is for you. And we should never abandon ourselves or stay silent or put up with less than we deserve. That's why I talk about it so much in my love readings. I believe people can heal. I also have a belief that they need to be alone in order to heal. That they won't heal with someone trying to convince them to heal or putting up with less than they deserve just because they know they're wounded. You know, and that's common with empaths. Empaths stay in unhealthy situations because they feel like they can help that wounded person. But to me, that healing happens in hermit energy. It happens in isolation. So, what do you need to know? Oh, we have soulmate here. That's lovely. All right, so let's see what we need to hear today. What do we need to hear today? Whoops. Focus on your vision. Nice. I'm really focused on my mission right now. That's for sure. My mission, very important to me. Move forward. Let love propel you over hurdles. And this is what I mean. Like, I feel like part of me is stuck, and maybe you relate to this in some way, but it feels like part of me is stuck or tethered to that old wound, and that this is going to help me untether myself. This is going to help me finally release it and integrate that lesson and heal that part of me that feels that I should live in silence, that part of me that feels afraid to use my voice. And like, the funny thing is I am not afraid to use my voice in that, like, with you guys. I was at first because of what I went through. And I feel like I've conquered that fear. I speak very authentically. But clearly there's still a part of me that's like blocked throat chakra. There's still a part of me that's stuck there. So anyway, let love propel you over hurdles. And this isn't just about, I don't know what this card is about, but this isn't just, I don't know what this card is about, but I'm hearing let self-love propel you over hurdles. Move forward. I am overcoming my challenges to realize my dreams. And maybe some of, like, again, I haven't looked at what this card means, but maybe some of you, you know, are afraid to go after your mission because of similar trauma. Or maybe for some of you, you're afraid to speak up in a connection where you're being mistreated. Or maybe for some of you who have been through a similar experience, you're allowed to let new people in. The soul's journey is about continuous growth and expansion. Bringing a dream into reality is often achieved by taking proper action to make it happen. So this seems more about mission, but I can resonate with this too in the in the emotional wound healing that I'm going through right now. Those who realize their ambitions keep pushing and trying new ideas if one does not work. They don't give up. They consider setbacks as challenges and opportunities for realigning their direction. The path is led by the heart, using the energy that is created from loving what they do. So this very much feels like going after your dream, going after your mission. Maybe part of you had a fear of going after your mission because of conditioning, because of, your upbringing. I talked about it with someone today, someone who booked, I was communicating with someone through email today. And as a child, I was told that I was stupid. I was told that I wouldn't amount to anything, that I was a failure. And I carried that message with me my whole life. And when I thought about going after my dream, my mission, that's what bubbled to the surface, were those wounds. And I had to overcome those wounds in order to go after my mission. So maybe somewhere along the way, someone made you feel like you couldn't achieve your dreams, or that you had nothing to offer the world. When things don't seem to be working, it offers the potential to start a new approach with fresh ideas. Feeling hopeless at this point could easily lead to unhappiness and disappointment. This is when your imagination and the willingness to experiment are needed. Doing what you're truly passionate about and placing your full attention and focus on it is a means of cultivating your desires. Your challenges will actually help you become more aware of your own unique abilities to meet and solve them. When you truly follow your vision, you will touch the divine purpose for which you were born. You will move beyond smaller ideas of yourself and be able to expand your vision. By being more attentive, you will recognize and implement what is and isn't truly valuable for you. And it's different. Like, I feel like this is about going after your mission, but I can resonate it for the thing that I'm going through right now, which is I feel like I've hit a challenge here where I want to overcome it because I feel like it is my divine purpose to help heal others. And I feel like go away, you wounded little... No, I shouldn't say go away, you wounded little child, because that's what's coming up for me right now as I'm speaking. I want to say, come here, you little wounded child, and let me hug you. Let me embrace you and tell you that you are not what they told you you were. All right, let's get into it. What does this collective, my soul tribe, because honestly, these readings that I do are just like my soul tribe readings, which, again, there's a reason I stopped doing soul tribe readings. Not because of negative comments, but because of other things that I was going through. And that's something that I would like to return to, which is why I've started integrating some of these readings back into my workflow. It even feels weird to call it workflow because it's my mission. It's not work for me. And my hope for you is that you feel deep down that you have a mission, that you go for it. I can't describe the difference you feel when you're working towards your mission compared to working your muggle job. And if your muggle job is your mission, then it's not your muggle job. I don't want to offend anyone. What does this collective need to hear? Virtue of humility. Control your ego and embody modesty. All right. Virtue of humility. This card has never come out. I am focusing on developing greater humility by paying more attention and respect to those around me. Humility is the lack of arrogance and having a modest view of the self. It is about not putting yourself above or below others. Instead, it's found in recognizing that your abilities and actions are neither better nor less. Humility develops only when you awaken to the beauty of others and cultivate qualities that bring out the best in you and those around you. This is the quest that almost every artist and innovator embarks upon. So for some of you, it says it's not about putting yourself above or below others. So maybe for some of you, one of the challenges you have is you compare yourself to others who are doing what you want to do. You know, maybe I'll just use tarot as an example. Maybe you want to be a tarot reader and you want to start your channel, but then you look at other tarot readers and you compare yourself to them, or you feel like you're beneath them in some way, or you feel like you're not worthy, right? The one energy that I never pick up on from the collectives I channel is that they feel like they're better than anyone else. I mean, sometimes I do see comments that might speak of that, but for the most part, I rarely channel energy where you feel you're above other people. It's usually the opposite. The journey begins with you being more honest with yourself. The more love you have for yourself, the more you pay attention to enriching your good qualities. When you have self-compassion, it is easier to change your negative beliefs and actions and replace them with understanding, modesty, and kindness. Humility is not the absence of desire or self-assurance, and you don't need to shy away from admiration or even the limelight in order to be humble. Just do not consider your good deeds as a mean of receiving more fame and recognition, and simply go with the flow. That's another thing that I often talk about, is that if you are in it, if you are in your mission for fame or recognition or, you know, getting a lot of likes, that's not the way to approach your mission. And I think that that energy comes from a wounded masculine place. Not talking about gender. It comes from a wounded masculine place where, you know, typically wounded masculine energy is very, can be very focused on, you know, the money or the recognition or the fame. So I always tell you guys that set the intention that instead of, you know, looking for fame or recognition, set the intention that you're working towards helping others, whoever that may be, and trusting that your message and your mission will call in the people who are meant to hear your messages. You'll call in also people who don't need to hear your messages, and then they, you know, tell you that you're doing something wrong. It's because they're not meant to hear your messages. But approaching it from a place of wanting fame, wanting to be well known, wanting to go viral, that's not gonna work, is what I'm hearing. Or it could be short-lived, right? Like maybe you have a video go viral and then it's very short-lived. I just heard one hit wonder. You know those songs, like one hit wonder songs? And for some of you, maybe you struggle with believing in yourself to be in the spotlight. Or maybe you do shy away from the spotlight because you don't have enough confidence in yourself. I still struggle with compliments. Again, I'm still healing. I'm showing you my vulnerability here. I'm still healing. I still struggle with compliments. I still, when I look at your comments, like your nice comments about how I help you, how I'm truly gifted. It still triggers a part, like that part in me that I'm still healing of believing in myself. So maybe you struggle with putting yourself out there. Maybe you fear the spotlight. I just know for me, personally, what I learned when I started going after my mission was don't do it for likes, don't do it for fame. I've always set the intention before every reading. I want to help at least one person. All right. I didn't even finish this. When you gain control of your ego, your behavior becomes more peaceful and more honest, and you listen to others' ideas and correct your mistakes keenly. This is a good way to gently and patiently transform yourself into a happier soul. And doing my mission, I said it yesterday in a reading, I'm happy. I never thought I would know what it was like to feel happiness. And it didn't come from outside of me. It didn't come from money. It didn't come from, it didn't come from anything outside of me. It came from within me, from healing. All right, let's keep going. And just again, to be vulnerable, because I have this wound that I'm working through, I can't even tell you what's going on in my head right now. Like the self-doubt that's going on in my head right now during this reading, the questioning myself. But I'm not going to honor those feelings by voicing them. I'm not going to apologize. Follow your calling. Attend to your life's purpose. This is definitely about mission. Definitely about your mission. A lot of you ask me how I found my mission. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to do that, so I'm going to do it. I found my mission through healing, through awakening, through healing myself, through once I knew that I was, like, I am highly spiritual. And if you had told me that 5 years ago, that I would be highly spiritual, I would have thought, you're crazy. But I felt called to spiritual things. So I started experimenting with, I talk about this all the time. I started experimenting with palm reading. I started experimenting with tarot, with scrying, with Reiki. And tarot and my own intuition ended up being my mission or my calling. You have that calling for a reason. And clearly there's obstacles keeping you stuck from this calling, whether it be emotional wounds, whether it be things going on like tower moments in your everyday life, or a muggle job that keeps you away from following your calling, an unhealthy relationship. Clearly you have a calling. Follow your calling. And it's scary to follow that calling. It's like, it's like Frozen 2. Spirit's giving me Frozen 2, where Elsa sings a song, Into the Unknown. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Into the Unknown. And she hears someone calling her. I know it's her mother, but she hears someone calling her, something calling her, and her ego fights it. And she says, if I hear you, but I don't. And she talks about everything she's built inside of these walls, but she's feeling called to step into the unknown. Everything that exists in this world has a purpose. From a tiny insect to a huge mountain range, we have all been designed and created for our particular tasks. Our purpose is an expression of our ideal self and the way we wish to be. Our lives are meaningful and significant when we are aligned with our unique calling. You are formed and cherished by the Creator for doing your specific work. The purpose in your life is personal and must be developed within you. Exactly. Your purpose, it's within you. You just have to find it. How do you find it? I can tell you how I found mine. By digging through my shadows, by healing my wounding is where I found my purpose. And I do not believe that Spirit would have put me through the life that I went through, the experiences I went through, the trauma I went through, for me to just stay silent about it. Like, that's part of why I share my experiences, is to help others. All of those things I went through, all of the things you went through, are a part of your mission. And your mission is within you. That soul calling is within you. Judgment, heed the inner call. And sometimes in order to hear it, we have to be silent. We have to be quiet. Not silent in the way that I was talking about, from a wounded place. But we have to remove the distractions. We have to remove the social media distractions, the distractions of your ego telling you that you'll never be like that person. The distraction from the voices of the people in your life who, when you say, I want to work towards my mission, they tell you you'd be crazy to give up your day job, or they don't encourage it. And again, me being laid up for 2 weeks, I realized that I was so busy, raising 4 kids, working out, doing my mission, doing personal readings, spending time with my family. Like, I was always busy, always moving, that there were wounds that I couldn't see. And the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes when we take a step back and we rest and we reflect and we meditate, that's when the unhealed things surface, or that's when we can hear our inner voice. That's when we can realize our inner calling. And the noise of the 3D world can really find it hard for you to hear that voice and find your calling. And I wanted somebody to tell me what my calling was. I knew I had a mission. I even Googled it. How do I figure it out? In the end, I figured it out by experimenting with spirituality, like divination. Each new day allows you to decide how you want to express yourself in the world. If you wish to exult in the beauty of life, you need to find out what's in your heart that can make the journey of your soul pleasant. Use resources, ideas, and opportunities that come your way as guidance for pursuing possibilities. Open your heart and let it point you. No. Open your heart and let it anoint you with its deep wisdom of love. Seek your own reason for being. As you continue the journey, obstacles might appear to divert your attention. Yes, it will. Yes, they will. Look for ways to face your challenges with endurance. Love and faith are what will guide you even when you are being lured away from your chosen path. Once you have found your calling, follow through patiently to experience the happiness and joy you set for yourself. Affirmation: I am determined to discover and follow my life's purpose wholeheartedly. Let's get another one. Oh, that one came out so quick. Free of attachments. Interesting, because of how I started this reading, about how I felt tethered to my wounded inner child, or tethered to that past version of myself. Free of attachments. Invite true love into your life. Free of attachments. You know what? I'm going to put on my glasses because I'm having a difficult time for some reason. Maybe because I was crying all morning? But crying is healing. Attachment is like a heavy weight on our back. It is something we carry around with us all the time. Having material possessions and feelings of power are great, but when we are attached to them, they consume our minds and distract us from fully enjoying the journey. We seek refuge in procrastination or addiction to escape from it, and we suffer from a lack of vision and direction. Your soul came to this world unattached and will leave it unattached. You cannot have true happiness as long as you're carrying the burden of attachments. Release that weight does not mean you have to deprive yourself of the things you enjoy. Freedom is found in realizing and accepting that everything is temporary. This recognition will help shift your perspective and replace it with feelings of appreciation and gratitude. You become true to yourself and others. Attachment to what you love begins to thin out, and you become free of every kind of binding. You'll feel one with the whole world. Your heart will open, and you will invite more love into your life. Having true love will help you dive into the moment and flow with what is available at the time. And I'm curious, how many of you took that to mean invite true love into your life meant that you were inviting in your true love? Guess what? You are your own true love. This is what this is saying. Having true love will help you dive into the moment. You are your own true love. You'll detach yourself from self-centered behaviors and spread more kindness around. Loving without attachments will allow you to give and receive more with others. You will be able to freely create and pursue what you want to do in the future. I am minimizing my attachments to experience feeling free and happy. And when I made the jump from my muggle job to my mission, I was very attached to my muggle job because I felt like I needed it to bring money in, right? And again, I always say this, you don't have to just quit your muggle job and go after your dream. And like a lot of people, like the way the world is right now, you can't survive, right, without an income. But that fear, that procrastination will keep you from going after your mission. That's why I always encourage doing both. Do both. And then when you're ready, you can transition fully onto your mission. Let's get 2 more. Don't give up. Follow your vision boldly. Spirit's telling me not to take this card for some reason. So I'm gonna shuffle out one more. Don't give up. One more. Why are you going on the floor? Anointed with love. That's interesting. That card came out the last time I used this deck. All right. Don't give up. I'm having something weird happening with my vision right now. It's not medical. Don't worry. Maybe I should look it up. This is my everyday life. Maybe I should look that up. Come on. Why won't it let me click on it? Just hang on here. Oh my gosh. No way. So I'm experiencing something very interesting with my vision right now. Again, it's actually making it hard for me to read, but it's not medical. But it's almost like in my vision, I'm experiencing brightness or like flashing movement of light. Strange. Anyway, I looked it up. And when you're meditating or when you're channeling source, which I am right now, channeling spirit, it's a sign of heightened intuition, spiritual awakening, the presence of angels and divine energy, the opening of spiritual senses, and connection to higher dimensions or consciousness. It also has to do with spiritual growth, a sign of inner growth, reaching higher levels, divine presence of angels, divine energy around you, opening of the crown chakra, signs of progress, guidance and protection. That's the first time I've ever had anything happen to me like that on camera that I've looked up. That is magic. Again, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I love that. The reason I put on my glasses is because I felt like I was having a hard time seeing the words because I was seeing this. I'm still having it. When we hear about successful people, we usually don't hear about their mistakes and how they handle challenges, except if you came here, because I'll talk about it. To most motivated people, failure is a stepping stone to achievement. There is no great talent without willpower. Just know that I am having a hard time reading because of the lights that I'm seeing. Magic. Dealing with the risks on the soul's journey requires endurance. A river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its perseverance. The ability to endure is a divine gift granted to everyone. You are born with the mental durability to translate your intentions into actions. How you use it is in your hands. The key is to trust your heart to develop more desire and motivation. Have the will to take risks and have faith that you can face difficult situations. Believe in your capacity to adapt and identify the steps necessary to keep moving in the right direction. When you combine your willpower with love, you can wholeheartedly face challenges as they arise. Constantly look for something to inspire you to carry on and make sure that your path is in the direction of your vision. Combine your habits with good mental attitude and develop determination. If you want to increase your willpower, be more optimistic and hopeful. Treat feelings as defeat as a lesson rather than a setback, and have full trust in the power of your process. I am resilient and capable of being all that I want to be. That's beautiful. So don't give up. Now I'm hearing the song Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel, which, if it gives you any indication of what my life was like, I was very connected to that song like when I was growing up. I would listen to that song a lot. And Anointed with Love. I do not doubt that what I am experiencing right now is part of what I'm going through, like the vision thing that I'm experiencing right now. Let sweetness invigorate your life. When life feels routine and uninteresting, it means we are missing excitement and the feeling of wonder that could renew us. We long for something thrilling to bring in the happiness we have been dreaming about. What is missing is the light of love within us that wants to be revealed and shared. Exactly, it's within you. It is this energy that is longing to revitalize our life and fill our hearts with anticipation and passion. The most precious thing we can share along the journey of our soul is love. All the potential to feel love and the ability to heal are inside of your heart. You are connected to the universal flow through that link. When you are guided to be where you are guided to be. It's on page 20, judgment. I said that. Heed the inner call. Where you are guided is to be determined by the elements of desire. You are blessed with the capability to discover countless ways to enjoy what you do and feel more creative in life. Longing is what helps you to embrace innovation and creativity and allow your uniqueness to express itself. When you wholeheartedly embrace what you do, you are prepared to give your all. Everything becomes more playful and more fun, and moments become more enjoyable. Let love beam from you like the sun and shimmer in a rainbow of colors as you shine light upon others. Find creative ways to perform acts of kindness. A compliment, a small gift, a positive note, or even a smile infused with light. Allow your heart to anoint your days and feel the warmth and wonder running over, bringing color and beauty to even the most ordinary day. I welcome love and joy into my life and trust my heart to lead the way. All right, my friends. So again, I feel a lot of old wounds being triggered in my head right now. Lots of self-doubt for the first time in a very long time. I hope somebody needed to hear this message. And again, I just want to take a moment to thank you for letting me share what I was going through with people who understand. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I'm always sending you love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.